All right, so today we're going to dive into some AI tools. We've got a whole bunch of examples from Hale's World's latest YouTube video. And whether you're like a serious tech person or just kind of curious about what's out there, the stuff is pretty crazy.
Yeah, what really blows my mind is like how these tools are not just for like the tech geniuses anymore. It's like we're at this point where AI is getting so powerful, but also it's like becoming accessible to everyday people?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the whole creative world is just changing like right in front of us. Speaking of creative stuff, let's talk about Leonardo.ai. This thing is like basically having a digital art buddy who can keep up with your ideas and even like bring them to life.
Yeah, the crazy thing is you don't need like years of art school to make awesome art now. Imagine like someone who always had all these ideas in their head, but they couldn't like draw or paint or whatever.
Yeah.
Suddenly they can create like amazing visuals.
It's exactly what Hale's World was showing in the video. He just like sketched out a rough idea, told Leonardo.ai he wanted it to look photorealistic or like cinematic, and boom, instant masterpiece. He even made these like Victorian robots with crowns, and the detail was insane.
And it's not just still images either. Leonardo can make those creations into videos too. Adds
Yeah.
a whole other level to it. Makes you wonder if this is the future of animation.
Oh yeah, for sure. And speaking of animation, let's talk about Runway ML. This one has this feature called Motion Brush, and it's wild. You literally paint movement onto a picture. Like you want to make a landscape photo come alive. Just paint over the parts you want to move.
Wow. And it's not just simple movements either, right? Runway ML is really good with stuff like firewater, even of realistic animals moving. I mean, think about how hard it is to animate that stuff the traditional way. Now anyone can do it.
I know, it's crazy. Makes you think about what this means for filmmakers and people making videos and stuff. Like, what if we start seeing all this super visually awesome content made by regular people and not just big studios?
Yeah, totally possible. It's pretty cool how these tools are like leveling the playing field, you know,
Yeah.
opening up all these doors that we never even thought about before.
Okay, get this. We've got art, we've got animation, and now with Heijin, we've got instant video translation into over 29 languages.
No way. That could totally change everything, especially with how connected the world is these days. Think about it. Businesses making deals, students learning stuff, people sharing their stories and cultures all over the planet. It's like a Tower of Babel, but in reverse.
Right. And it's not just some idea, it's like real. Think about traveling to another country and just talking to people without any language barriers, or going to a conference where everyone understands the presentations no matter what language they speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy how AI is breaking down walls like that, creating these connections that weren't even possible before.
Okay, enough with the serious stuff. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
This next tool is pure entertainment. Musicify.lol. You basically sing into a microphone and the AI turns your voice into a musical instrument.
Why, you're kidding, right? So I could sing a guitar solo even though I've never played guitar in my life.
Yep, that's the idea. And it actually works. In the video, Hale's World was trying to make guitar sounds with his voice and laughing, and the AI was turning it into some pretty awesome riffs. Like imagine someone who can't play any instrument suddenly being able to express themselves musically just by singing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really like you said earlier about creativity becoming more accessible. AI isn't about replacing human talent. It's about giving people new ways to be creative.
Exactly. And it's just plain fun,
Right.
which is always good. Speaking of fun, get ready for this one. 11 Labs has the speech-to-speech AI that can turn your voice into different characters.
You mean I could sound like a fancy British guy or a cartoon character just by typing what I want to say?
You got it. 11 Labs has all these pre-made voices, or you can even train it to sound like anyone, even yourself. Think about the possibilities for podcasts, audiobooks, video games. It's endless.
Yeah, that's wild. And it can be really helpful for people with disabilities too. Like imagine someone who has trouble speaking being able to communicate with a clear, confident voice. Or someone who lost their voice being able to speak again through AI.
It's really amazing how this tech can be used to help people in so many ways.
It really makes you think about the future of communication and what it even means to have an identity when voices can be changed so easily.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It definitely brings up some questions about authenticity and people misusing this technology, something we'll have to keep an eye on as it keeps developing.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've talked about AI for art, animation, translation, music, and even voices, and that's just scratching the surface.
Right.
This next tool, MissGIF.app, is all about having a good laugh.
Oh, I love a good laugh. What's this one all about?
It's an AI that makes those super realistic face swap GIFs. You know, the ones where you put your face or your friend's face onto a famous GIF?
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
Some of them are so good, it's scary. The technology is insane these days.
I know, right? Hale's World showed a bunch of examples in his video, and you can't even tell it's not the real person in the GIF. It's like you're literally putting yourself into another reality.
Which, of course, makes you think about the whole responsible use of AI thing. This tool's mostly for fun, but you can see how this kind of tech could be used for stuff that's not so innocent.
Oh yeah, totally. It's a good reminder that as these tools become more powerful, we got to be careful about how we use them.
Absolutely.
But let's not get too serious here. I hear our good old friend ChatGPT has some new tricks up its sleeve.
Oh, yeah. What's ChatGPT up to now?
Get this, it can now create your own AI clone.
Wait, hold on. Are you serious? Like an AI that can write emails for me in my style and answer questions the way I would? That's both amazing and terrifying at the same time.
I know, right? My jaw dropped when I heard about it. Hale's World explained how you train it with your lighting style, your preferences, even your specific responses. It's like having an AI assistant that can literally do things just like you would.
So, like, if I'm terrible at writing work emails, I could have my AI clone handle them for me.
Exactly.
That's insane, but also kind of scary. Like, if an AI can copy how I communicate perfectly, does that mean it's basically me? Makes you wonder about what it even means to be unique anymore.
Wow, that's a deep thought. It's like AI is blurring the lines between the real world and the digital world in a way we've never seen before.
I know, right? Okay, let's take a break from the existential crisis for a second. Have you seen this new AI tool called Roomy.com?
Oh yeah, this one's super cool. You upload a photo of any room, and the AI lets you redesign it in all sorts of styles. Rustic, modern, even post-apocalyptic. It's like having an interior designer on speed dial.
I love that. It's a perfect example of how AI can make things that used to be expensive or hard to get accessible to everyone.
For sure. And it's so fun to play around with. Hale's World was transforming his living room into all these crazy designs in the video. You can change the colors, the furniture, the decorations. It's crazy how real it looks.
It makes you wonder if we'll even need real interior designers anymore. Or will everyone just become their own design guru with the help of AI?
Right. I think there will always be a place for human creativity, but AI is definitely going to play a huge role in shaping the future of design.
Absolutely. Speaking of shaping the future, let's talk about mylens.ai. This one is a history nerd's dream come true.
Ooh, I love me some good history. What does my lens do?
It makes these super detailed interactive timelines for pretty much anything you can imagine. Want to see how YouTube evolved over time? Boom, you've got a timeline. Curious about the history of your favorite company? There it is.
So it's like having a personal historian on call 24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just a boring list of dates and names. These timelines are visual, with pictures, videos, and key insights that really bring the past to life. It makes learning about history way more fun and easy.
I love that. Sometimes it feels like we're so focused on the present and the future that we forget about all the amazing stories and knowledge from the past. Tools like this help us reconnect with that and understand the world better.
Totally agree. It's all about perspective. And sometimes looking back can help us move forward in new and better ways. Speaking of new and better, let's talk about one last tool before we wrap things up. This one's going to blow your mind. ClipDrop.co.
Okay, lay it on me. I'm ready to have my mind blown again. What does ClipDrop do?
It's got an AI-powered face swap tool that can replace faces in any picture, and it looks totally real.
No way! I've seen some pretty bad face swaps out there. What makes this one so special?
The level of detail is just insane. Hale's World showed some examples in the video, and it's crazy how well the AI matches the lighting, the angles, even the style of the original photo.
So it's not just pasting one face onto another, it's actually making the new face fit in perfectly with the rest of the picture.
Exactly. It's like the AI understands what's going on in the image and makes sure the new face looks natural.
Wow, that's incredible. What do you think this means for the future of photo editing and photography in general?
I think we're going to see a whole new level of creativity and people trying new things, but it also brings up some big questions about what's real and what's fake in the digital age.
That's true. As these tools get more advanced, it's going to be harder and harder to tell the difference between a real photo and one that's been manipulated with AI.
It's a fascinating and kind of scary thought. It just shows that we need to be aware of what we see online and not believe everything at face value.
Very true. We've covered so much today, from art and music to language and history. It's clear that AI is having a huge impact on almost every part of our lives.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're entering a new era,
Yeah.
where the lines between human creativity and AI are getting more and more blurred.
And who knows what amazing tools and innovations we'll see in the next few years. It's
I
both exciting and a little bit scary to think about.
totally agree.
But hey, that's the world we live in now, right? A world where anything is possible.
Pretty much.
Well, this has been a wild ride. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. We'll catch you next time.
It's kind of like AI is holding up a mirror, you know, like making us ask some big questions about ourselves and how we want to use tech.
Totally. And sometimes using tech is just for fun, like with this next tool, misgift.app. It makes these crazy realistic face swap GIFs. You know, the ones where you stick your face on like a celebrity or
Oh,
something?
yeah, those are hilarious. I've seen some that are so good you can't even tell they're fake.
Right. Hales World showed some in his video, and they're seriously convincing. It's like you're actually in the give.
Which makes you think about the whole AI ethics thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this gift thing is just for laughs. But you can see how this kind of tech could be used for bad stuff, too.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good reminder that just because we can do something with AI doesn't mean we should.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what else is on the AI menu today?
Well, get this. Our old pal ChatGPT has some new tricks.
Oh, really? I'm intrigued.
ChatGPT can now make your own AI clone.
Wait, what? Seriously? Like an AI that can write emails the way I do and answer questions just like me?
Yep, that's the gist.
That's wild.
I know, right? Hales World explain how you train it with your writing your preferences, even your exact responses. Imagine having an AI that can basically be you for certain tasks.
That's kind of freaky. Like, what if it gets so good at being me that no one can tell the difference? It's like an identity crisis waiting to happen.
That's a good point. It's like AI is making us rethink what it means to be human.
Okay, enough deep thoughts for now. Let's talk about something a little lighter, like interior design. Have you seen this new AI tool called Roomy.com?
Oh yeah, that one's cool. You upload a picture of a room, and the AI lets you redesign it in all these different styles. Like it can make it rustic, modern, even post-apocalyptic. It's like having your own personal interior designer.
I love that. It's making design way more accessible to people who couldn't afford a fancy designer before.
Totally. Plus, it's just fun to mess around with. Hales World was redecorating his living room in all sorts of crazy ways in his video.
So I could finally get rid of that hideous wallpaper in my bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
This is revolutionary.
Yeah. It makes you wonder if actual interior designers are going to be out of a job soon.
Maybe. Or maybe they'll just use AI to help them come up with even better designs.
That's a good point. It's like AI is a tool that can help us push the boundaries of creativity.
Okay, enough about interior design. Let's talk about something a little more, well, maybe not more important, but definitely interesting. Have you heard of mylens.ai?
No. What's that one?
It's basically a dream come true for history buffs. It creates these super detailed interactive timelines for just about anything you can think of,
Like what?
like the history of YouTube or the history of your favorite company, anything you're curious about.
So it's like having your own personal time machine.
Exactly. And it's not just dry facts and figures. It's got pictures, videos, all sorts of stuff to bring history to life.
That's awesome. It's like history class, but way more engaging.
Right. It makes you realize that history isn't just boring dates and names. It's full of amazing stories and people who shaped the world we live in today.
Definitely. And it's important to remember those stories, to learn from the past so we can make better choices in the future.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Speaking of shaping the future, we got to talk about this last AI tool before we wrap things up. Clipdrop.co. This one's a doozy.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with
It's
it.
an AI face swap tool that's so good it's almost unbelievable.
You're kidding, right?
Nope. Hales World showed some examples in his video, and it's mind-blowing. The faces look completely real.
Like you can't even tell they've been swapped.
And nope, the AI is that good. It matches the lighting, the angles, everything.
So it's not like those cheesy face swap apps where it's obvious that it's fake?
Not even close. This is next-level stuff.
That's incredible. What do you think this means for the future of photography?
I think it means we're entering a world where we can't always trust what we see. Because with AI, anyone can create a photo or video that looks completely real, even if it's totally made up.
That's kind of scary.
It is. It's like the line between reality and fiction is getting blurrier and blurrier.
So how do we know what to believe anymore?
That's the million-dollar question. I think it comes down to critical thinking and media literacy. We need to be aware of how AI is being used and question everything we see online.
Well said. It's definitely a lot to think about.
It is. But it's also exciting. Because AI is opening up all these new possibilities. It's changing the world in ways we never could have imagined.
I know it's kind of overwhelming, but in a good way. Like
Exactly.
we're on the edge of something big.
We are. And who knows what the future holds?
Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be a wild ride.
That's
It's
good. It's important.
exciting, but also kind of scary. Like, I need a brain upgrade just to keep up with all this new AI stuff.
I know what you mean. It seems like every week there's some new AI tool that blows my mind and makes me rethink everything.
Seriously, if this is where we are now, what's it going to be like in 5 years? 10 years? I can't even imagine.
Neither. But one thing's for sure, AI is here to stay, so we better learn how to use it wisely.
Exactly. It's not about being afraid of AI. It's about figuring out how to use it to make the world a better place.
Well said.
So before we wrap up our deep dive into these amazing AI tools, I want to leave you with something to think about. If you could have an AI clone to do one task for you, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Would you pick something boring, like doing your taxes? Or something more creative, like writing a song?
It's like, what's more important to you, having more free time or having an AI that can express your creativity?
Exactly. It's not just about convenience. It's about what we value most as humans.
And how we see AI fitting into our lives.
I think that's the biggest question we face as AI gets more powerful.
How do we make sure it's used for good?
And how do we stay human in a world that's increasingly dominated by technology?
Big questions.
Big questions indeed. But for now, I encourage you to explore these AI tools, experiment with them, and see how they can improve your life.
Just remember to use them responsibly.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.